Directed by Mel Gibson, starring Andrew Garfield, Vince Vaughn, Teresa Palmer, Sam Worthington, and Hugo Weaving, Hacksaw Ridge is a World War II drama centered around a man named Desmond Doss, who, by his own will, went into battle without a weapon. Oh yeah, and it's a true story. Now, before I start this review, I gotta address the elephant in the room. Mel Gibson is the director, and of course, about 8 or 9 years ago, Mel Gibson did and said some things that weren't all that cool. Of course, they had to do primarily with alcohol and divorce, but still not acceptable. And well, after he said those things that he said, Hollywood basically blacklisted Mel Gibson. They labeled him as insane and crazy. And well, I'm of the opinion that a man's worst moment should not define the rest of their life. And I mean, people who have worked with Mel Gibson say that he's not like how he was in the back of that police car, drunk on tequilas, yelling racist stuff. I think Mel Gibson should definitely be forgiven and re-welcomed back into making movies. And also, I must say that Mel Gibson directed my favorite movie of all time in Braveheart. And so going into Hacksaw Ridge, I was extremely excited because I was like, he's been out of the business for about, almost a decade. And he wants to come back, and so he's going to give all of his effort in this one. And he did, folks. He did. And it was awesome. Things I liked about Hacksaw Ridge. The acting. All of the performances in this movie are spectacular. The side characters, the side performances, all really, really great. But the standouts in this movie have got to be Andrew Garfield and Vince Vaughn. Andrew Garfield gives the best performance of his career in this. He portrays Desmond Doss as the way Desmond Doss was. He was an incredibly humble guy, very sweet guy, very kind, always serving others. And you want to love this guy. You want this guy to succeed. You want this guy to survive. And it's just Andrew Garfield, his accent's really well done. It's very realistic. I thought it fit perfectly. And, I mean, if I didn't know that Andrew Garfield was British, I would not have thought that he was British. And also, Vince Vaughn is really, really funny in this movie, but he's different in the way that he's funny. In most movies, he's the same kind of funny. In this movie, he's funny, but he's stern and he's a real character, and I really appreciated that. And also, I've got to mention Hugo Weaving's portrayal of Desmond Doss's father was really, really great. It's a very emotional performance. Desmond Doss's father was a very drunk, kind of abusive father, partly because he suffered from severe PTSD, and it's a really, really great performance. Very different for Hugo Weaving. Another thing I loved about Hacksaw Ridge was the directing. Mel Gibson is back, guys. I mean, he is back. The war scenes in this movie, the action is so... it's brutal. And it's realistic. It's not gratuitous at all. But, to watch what our veterans went through in World War II and still go through in a lot of ways, it's heart-wrenching. And the directing... It's superb. And also, the cinematography is it's astounding. I remember watching Braveheart recently, and I noticed that about 50 to 100 of the shots in that movie could be posters. And in Hacksaw Ridge, it's the same thing. It's a beautiful looking movie. Beautiful. With all that being said, guys, the most remarkable thing about Hacksaw Ridge is the story. Alright, Doctor Strange is out this weekend, and, that's a superhero movie, but this is a real superhero movie, guys. This actually happened. What Desmond Doss did is nothing short of miraculous. This guy was a real hero. Doss was a man of true conviction, and he would not back down from holding those convictions. In the movie, he gets persecuted by the army because he will not pick up a gun, and he refuses to go into battle and fight. He wants to serve as a medic, and only a medic. He just wants to save people. Now, his beliefs are largely rooted in Christianity, and also his childhood. It really deterred him from violence. But the big thing in this movie is his faith and his unshakable conviction in that faith. Now, I know that some of you are like, oh, it's the Christian movie. But let me say this, guys. This movie is not a Christian movie. It's simply a movie about a Christian. It portrays exactly how the guy was. This man was deeply rooted in his faith. He gave no credit to himself for the heroic actions that he did. That's simply what happened, and this movie tells the truth about what Desmond Doss did and believed in. And if you don't have respect for that, what's wrong with you? Look, this guy saved 75 men off of Hacksaw Ridge in a period of 12 hours by himself. If anything, go see this movie for that. Come on. Now, a few things I don't like about Hacksaw Ridge is there are a few special effects shots that don't look very good, and that's primarily because the movie did not have that great of a budget. because indie movies about real heroes do not get the same amount of money as blockbuster movies about fake ones. And also kind of the exposition period of the movie is, I think, maybe a little bit too long before you actually get to the war, but it is necessary for character development, and I'm going to see the movie again, so my opinion may change on that. But I mean, those are really just nitpicks, guys. Hacksaw Ridge is in my top 3 favorite movies of the year. I'm not sure if it's number 1 or 2 or 3. My 3 favorites right now have got to be Deepwater Horizon. I did not actually get around to reviewing that, but that movie is incredible. Also, The Accountant. That's a great movie. I did a review on that. And, well, Hacksaw Ridge, I'll say this. Hacksaw Ridge is the most inspiring movie I've seen all year and in the past few years. So go out and see this one. Hacksaw Ridge gets an A+. So tell me, guys, have you seen Hacksaw Ridge? If so, comment below and let me know what you thought of it. And as always, if you like this video, please like it and subscribe. Tell your friends about the channel. And may all of you have a very wonderful day.